I think that Kane Corns followed me on Twitter and then unfollowed me.
That's a bit rude. Someone did that to me that I was really impressed. So I remember being like, "Oh, someone follows me," and then they unfollowed me. I can't remember who this person.
I just remembered I had a Kane Corns dream.
Okay,
And
go into that.
I never have dreams, right? But I told
You
Broden...
don't have dreams.
You know how Kane Corns' son has a podcast?
You don't have
yes.
dreams?
I think I told Broden, go say this to Kane Corns about his son's podcast as like a nasty thing from my end. And Broden came back, he's like, Kane was so happy with what I said, he's crying. And Kane was there crying because Broden had said such a nice thing about his podcast. Isn't that weird?
That's weirdly wholesome.
Yeah, but I was the one who was a cunt in the situation, you know, because I'd been like...
Let's dig into this.
Yeah.
Why do you think you're a cunt in your dreams?
I don't know. I do not remember
And
dreams.
Kane
This
was
is
a
the only
hero.
dream I've ever remembered.
Okay.
If you are just a heads up to anyone who's live streaming us from Nandowry, Buckland, Lockington, Kona Creek, all in sort of what I would say is southern Queensland now. If you look out your window, you can see Julian Assange.
Very cool.
I'm watching his flight path, not because I really care when Julian Assange gets back. Like I got a sort of
An interest.
an adjacent sort of interest. Nothing compared to my interest in the trial of Patrick Dangerfield, but I'm more interested in this flight app that I spend most days on. I live under a flight path and I'll be in bed and I'll hear, and I'm like,
Yeah, that's cool.
and I'll go,
But Annie loves that. You're in the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're going to find it because I live near Essendon Airport, right, which is...
The coolest place on earth, am I right?
Yeah. Often they just fall out of the sky halfway through the season. And
Yeah. 4, thank you very much. At least we're in the air.
yeah, they rarely... Planes from Essendon Airport rarely leave Melbourne.
That's true.
They just fly between.
Oh, yeah. You got a really easy run home, eh?
Did we?
You don't leave
because
again.
the
You don't leave
AFL
again.
ranked it and we're not even in the top 5 most easy runs home.
You don't leave again. If you're just joining us now...
We had a harder start.
One
What
of
of
our
it?
biggest
we worked
clubs in
hard
the country.
to start.
We put bums on seats. That's what's important.
Yeah.
Good for the economy.
We can win a game, you know what I mean?
If you're joining us for this live stream, this is a flight. We're just looking at the radar. So there is a Brisbane Qantas flight just landing in Melbourne from Brisbane. It was a 2-hour flight, which is a great time for a Brisbane-Sydney. Rarely are you getting it under that 2:20, 2:30 mark with traffic on peak hour on a Wednesday night.
Is it a private jet?
I stopped listening.
Julian's is a private jet, yes.
Oh, that's what
Yeah,
you're
of
talking
course
about
it's a
still,
private.
right?
Imagine
'Cause I
if they put
also-
him in fucking economy. That's Julian Assange.
He's a person of the people, right?
That's true.
Hey, should we do something crazy and massive for Essendon Gold Coast?
Yeah, we definitely should. That's soon, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the last round, isn't it, at Marvel?
Yeah, let's do. Yeah, what do you want to do?
Well, let's just do something fun.
Why don't you go in the Gold Coast cheer squad? I'll go in the Essendon, and then we can run and we can fight.
Yeah, but we'll tell all the listeners to the podcast, pick a side.
And then we'll get them all on the ground, and they have to storm the ground and fight.
Yes. I love it.
Swear jar Marns.
Yeah.
The chat saying.
I
A lot of
know.
people asking me as well, they want my opinion on Ben Mendelsohn returning to the Star Wars universe. Do you know, Marnie, that I do a Ben Mendelsohn impersonation, and it goes viral on the internet every few weeks.
All the time.
But it's from like 5 years ago.
Okay.
So it's essentially, have you seen Animal Kingdom? Put it on the list, Marns.
It's actually good. I really like it. I don't watch many things, but
It's loosely based on a crime family in Melbourne from the 80s.
Oh, I would like
Yeah,
that.
you would
I would,
like
I,
it.
I would really
Legit.
like that.
It's a brilliant film with great acting. It's the reason Mendo is now A-list.
Okay.
But anyway, talks about. He goes, "Oh, hi, mate. What you haven't spoke to the cops, have you, mate? Hey, playing funny buggers, mate." And then what you do is you go to him being in Star Wars, and you're like, "Oh, hey, Darth Vader, mate. You haven't
That's actually quite funny,
I built the Death Star, mate. You haven't spoke to the cops, have you, mate?" And then you go, "Hey, Batman," because he was in Dark Knight Rises.
it's in Dark Knight.
I'm keen for him to return to the Star Wars universe because I'm worried about him. He went to the same high school as Tom and I,
Yeah, Rosanna East.
about 20 years apart.
Yeah. We went to viewing, but it was Rosanna East.
Okay.
He went to where Banya Theatre is. You know?
Chain eating.
I'm having caramel wallabies.
Shall we crack in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Folks, if you are ready for a football podcast brought to you by the good people at Ansett Australia, getting you there quicker. If Ansett was still around, Assange would be here by now. And he will be in here shortly to do the tips. he loves two things: getting footage of American war crimes during the Iraq War and tipping the dogs.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, waiting on you,
I know.
fearless leader.
Yeah, I'm back on the steroids, so I just kind of don't know where I am. Hey, folks, it's Thursday morning, and that means one thing. It means the sign fell already. The sign fell, and that means it's
Good
time
sign.
to bounce that pill. It's so nice to see you all, folks. Welcome to the Footy with Marns, your Thursday edition of the Footy Week. We are belly button deep in the footy season. It's getting a bit boring. It's getting a bit flat. It's 2 degrees outside, but Marns is going to bring the energy. Tom's going to bring the energy, and I'm back on the steroids. Hi, Marns.
Hey, how's it going?
Really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Weird energy coming.
Where do you get a good ramen in Melbourne these days?
Oh, Shop Ramen. Shop Ramen, and there's a place, I think it's called like Nico. Oh my God, the sign keeps falling down.
I'm giving up.
You just need more new tape.
Where's the ramen?
I think, is it called like Nico? It's on like Gertch.
Nico Bellic from GTA
Nico.
I would eat ramen from a ramen place called Nico Bellic.
In Fitzroy.
Nico Bellic.
It's a GTA.
But then Shop Ramen, I think that you weren't asking me a serious question now. I just want to talk about ramen.
No, he
but
loves ramen.
Shop Ramen does.
Shop ramen in
There's
Northcote,
two.
in Thornbury, yeah?
Yeah, and then there's one Brunswick.
Yes.
Really good.
My favourite ramen in Melbourne is Hakata Gensuka. Saying that wrong probably,
Okay.
but that's my favourite.
Okay.
Do you like ramen?
I was just thinking, I do like ramen, and I've had ramen a few times, but never in Melbourne, I don't reckon.
Really?
Had San Francisco ramen, had Ivan ramen in New York with Broden a couple of times.
Chef's table.
Oh.
I feel like ramen's something I have on tour. That's weird.
a weird tour
That's
food.
a weird tour
Because it's
food.
not exactly you can like eat it on the go.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel sick, I better have some soup.
Yeah, it's like homely and nice.
So filling. Oh, it's so good.
Amy knows where it's at in the chat talking about Hakata. We love that. Folks, what a big week it's been in footy. Marnie, what do you do for a living?
I'm a sports reporter.
And can you do your best
Yeah.
as we throw to the Marnie News? Marns is off to the second game of the NRL State of Origin after
The
this.
men's one, yeah.
The men's. And we need New South Wales to win this to A, keep it interesting,
Yeah.
and B, keep you happy.
My heart happy, yeah.
But we're getting
Although I'm working tonight, so I'm dressed in all black.
Yeah.
With not a shade of blue or red on me.
So you're more you're
Oh.
dressed more for Union. You're dressed for the Kiwis to bring it.
I kind of want to make a joke about how I'm dressed for New South Wales funerals, but
That's funny. But the return of Latrell Mitchell.
I know, I love Latrell.
Latrell Mitchell's a great indicator. He loves to talk, Tom.
Yes, yeah, because you called me earlier in the week to talk Origin.
No,
ahead
you're a liar.
Of your ABC Mondays expert.
you-
We're just going to chat. Also, do I have the heating on way too?
No, whatever you want.
I'm comfy, but I notice it.
I'm fine.
Okay,
Are you accusing me of ringing you and asking for information about rugby league so I could do an ABC Sports panel show?
That is exactly what I'm suggesting happened. Yes.
I'm suggesting you lie.
Did you ask me who Latrell Mitchell is?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Yeah, but I actually really enjoyed just like because I was like, yeah, he's a controversial figure. Like he's just known as a controversial figure. I was like,
Yeah.
but why? Just because it's been in my head for so long, and just like actually doing a bit of research and just like rereading all this stuff and like who he is as a person, I found really interesting.
This Latrell Mitchell guy, Marnie sent me some articles. Essentially, he's a First Nations Australian. When he got drafted when he was 18, he came in and just started running his mouth. He's like, my fucking community gets fucking dogged. Fuck you guys. And then guess who didn't like that?
the NRL.
Photos of people with boats and fish.
The NRL.
And what I couldn't, and so he says that like if I didn't talk so much, I could be the best player in the league, but I feel like I'm sort of held back a little bit because I'm distracted. But also I am just representing my community. He seems like a cool And what I couldn't say on the
Yes.
ABC is fuck the Bogans. You know what I mean? But he's fucking good too, yeah?
He's such a good player. I'm genuinely, and because like he's fun to watch. He's one of these players. Like Lav Bai said it really good on Monday's Experts. Was just like if he has a good game, bad game, whatever. Like we're going to be talking about Latrell.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a good name too.
Latrell. Well, because he's known as Uncle Trell in the community.
Trell.
Isn't that one?
Yeah,
I
that's
just
cool.
think that's so nice.
Uncle Trell. But yes.
But yeah, so by the time that everyone's listening to this, we would have had Blues would have won. It's gonna make a spicy third game in the series.
But I met a few people who are league people at the start of the week. Went, how do NRL people feel about 90,000 going to a game? And the people I spoke to were, oh, yeah, is that big? And I was like, you fucking people have no clue. And they're, oh, I don't like it's oval. I'm like, do you know why it's oval? It's oval because there's a better sport that people show up 90,000 weekly to.
Oh, how many went to Melbourne's game on the weekend?
28,000.
It was cold.
Unacceptable from Melbourne fans, totally. But then you know what keeps happening with these as well is that because it's an easy one to hop on the bandwagon and be negative about that. But you and Tony Jones on Channel 9. But
Don't put that in the same.
but like I don't look back at the records and it's always like that's the third highest record that North and Melbourne have ever gotten. And but no, unacceptable. Melbourne fans are flaky like a pie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also
like a
definitely
Port
small market.
Adelaide oval pie.
Yeah, which had
Very
30,000 at that game, by the way.
Yeah, they were and made themselves known.
Yeah. Oh, they were booing.
Didn't they?
But I'm excited to. I hope New South Wales win for you.
Yeah, well, and then Thursday night the women play, and the Sky Blues have won one game, and Queensland have won one game. So
perfect.
it's all down to the wire Thursday night.
Speaking of 28,000, about that turned out for the second NRL women's
in
game.
the rain.
In the rain. Lorraine.
Very impressive. Speaking of in the rain, flew to Sydney on the weekend, which was like so long ago, but I love Sydney footy at the moment. It is so fun.
Do you remember your flight code?
JQ 508.
Oh, that's sick. We can look up how it went.
It was delayed by 2 hours.
Jetstar.
2 hours.
Yeah, which
Jetstar.
was on
Jetstar.
Saturday,
Why?
which was fine because it was like I had like work to do. So I was like, it actually went really fast for me. And if not, I had a book. So I was like chilling. But if it was Sunday flying back, I like risked it. And I was like, I've got to start work at 11 a.m. I'll get a 7 a.m. flight. But
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
oh,
fair.
if that messed up, that would have messed me up.
Shall we quickly rank the Australian airlines that we like?
Sure.
At number, in the lowest rank, I have Jetstar.
Jetstar.
Yeah, bad.
At number 2, I have, the second last, I have Qantas.
I have Qantas as well.
Oh, really? Not good.
My experience with them, I don't fly with them often, but they are often delayed or they're often rude.
And
or they often miss your
planes are
luggage.
old.
Yeah, so, yeah. And
I
then,
feel like I only ever fly Jetstar, so I don't really have anything to compare to. So when I fly Qantas, I'm like, look how
Yeah.
fancy I am.
at number 2 for me,
Yeah.
Virgin.
Oh, I see. Aren't they
Yeah.
good? Don't they give you a little
Virgin,
snack?
Number 1.
Yeah, you platinum?
Yes.
We're both we fly on them a lot.
Flying airlines is one of the only things I'm a snob about in the entire world, genuinely. I feel like I'm a very down-to-earth, not snobbish person.
Because all I'm learning from doing this podcast with this one, MCC,
Yeah, I know, right?
Virgin member,
Yeah.
it's at Attica.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
All right.
That's him there.
And I own 4 houses.
Yeah.
Purple Pingers, stay away from me. Number 1,
Rex.
Bonza.
Oh, I don't know. what
Bonza, I
is.
never heard of it.
Yeah, Bonza. It's the new buy. I know you trust me, yeah? Buy shares in Bonza
Okay.
right now.
Done. Aren't they owned by someone there?
No.
No?
I
Okay.
just, Tom, listen to me. You get some savings.
Yep.
Take it out of the offset.
Yep.
Put it in Bonza.
Okay, done.
I got your back.
Okay,
I was going to be
great.
stoked when you go home and tell her you put all
Yeah, I'm
your
already, yeah.
savings
Tom,
in Bonza.
Should be stoked.
Don't Google Bonza.
Okay.
I just trust me.
Because I thought it was owned by Queensland or something, by Qantas.
That's Jetstar.
Yeah, I thought there was a third owned by him.
Tiger used to be owned by Virgin, but they went under.
Right. Is it Rex that's owned by Jetstar, owned by Qantas?
Rex is owned by an independent group,
Yeah,
but they've
okay.
Regional Express.
Yeah, they've got flights to Bathurst.
Yeah,
Bathurst.
right. there
Have you?
go.
Do you hop on Rexes once?
Only when my
Anytime?
parents buy them for me because they're very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on a few Rexes.
Yeah, I don't know
You
why
get
I'm
a
going crazy, but I really thought Jetstar had another cheaper brand under it.
You don't need to worry about it. All you need to do is go take all of your money,
Put it on Bonza.
put it in Bonza.
Take it off Bitcoin. Put it on Bonza.
Sell Bitcoin, buy Bonza. What's some real news?
Okay. Also, before we move on, my hotel bed in Sydney above like the bed head was because it was near the airport, had like photos of like planes in the hangar, and I was like, this is so on brand for me.
Oh,
It's
you're
like
a
I
bomber.
kind of want to get like the hangar above my bed.
Yeah.
So you stayed at a hotel near the Sydney airport?
Yeah.
Because we have a hotel at Sydney airport
Oh,
that we
that's
stay
our
at.
thing.
That's our thing.
Okay. So, sorry to take you through.
No, it's great. Share
Oh,
information.
okay. Let's come.
We stay at the Moxie.
I don't know what it's called. Sorry, the place.
The Moxie was trendy.
It's
Okay.
really nice. It's new.
Ooh.
Like on the street, it used to be car park.
They give out free punch.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
it's cool.
What?
But this wasn't where you stayed?
No.
Oh, shame.
I bet Dad in the chat's putting where I stayed.
It's a Sydney
Yeah.
take, but the best place to stay is near the airport.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
the roads are so poorly designed there.
So, yeah.
You're always car sick by the time you get to the airport. You're dodging traffic
Yeah.
to get back there. But we like the airport hotels.
Yeah, so where we stay, it's still a 10-minute drive, even though it's a 2-minute walk. Like, that's how poorly designed it is.
So
All
what do you
right.
think of that?
The Travel Lodge.
How was? Okay.
Sure,
Okay,
cool.
well, planes, Travel Lodge, yeah.
That's very groovy.
Very
And did you have a
groovy.
good time in the rain?
I had such a good time because also it's this kind of thing where it's like, okay, well, we've got our gear on, you know what I mean? Like my giant puffer jacket, the water's actually not getting through to me. So I'm actually kind of cozy in the rain. I've got my vegan pie, very well done, empty stadium.
How was the infrastructure of the pie?
It was so good. It was so
Wouldn't fall apart on you.
didn't fall apart. And it was warm. Oh, anyway, and so like, yeah, you're like kind of leaning into like I'm in this wet experience and it feels very like almost like community footy vibe. It felt like a small Adelaide Oval.
Yeah, the oval was cool.
Oval was great. And then it also just makes the going home so nice. Like to be then in like inside with the heater blasting is just so lovely.
So nice.
At the
So
Travel Lodge or
nice.
Melbourne?
Travel Lodge.
Or you put the heater on in the Travel Lodge?
Yeah, and then me and my family watched Doctor Who.
With the new guy?
Yep.
How is he?
He's amazing. Ncuti Gatwa is fantastic. Like, it makes me want to cry. He's just so good because also it's just like Doctor Who's been around forever and they've always pushed the boundary. But even so, they've only had one doctor that's not a man and they've never had like a doctor of color before. And so to have like a queer black doctor, it's just like,
He's doing well?
Oh my God, he's doing amazing.
Who's the sidekick again?
Millie Gibson. And her name's Ruby Sunday in the show.
Millie Gibson, good?
Yeah. She's less, I think that it's like one of her first big roles and she's, finding her feet
Is
with
there a robot?
plenty of robots.
That's sick.
Yeah, there's Gwiglions.
Sorry?
You know, the Gwiglions from Doctor Who.
Can you tell the footy's been a bit flat this week? Anyway, so it was a good
Football,
trip.
what's that? Yeah, it was a great trip.
What news we got?
Okay, well, do you remember, it feels like years ago, but it wasn't. It was this year
9/11?
that the AFL was like embroiled in the off the books testing for illicit drugs and this was brought about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the AFL have been cleared.
Oh, this is the one at the start of the year.
Yes,
Yeah,
so
I
it
forgot
came
about it.
about with Melbourne. The Melbourne doctor kind of, he said that there'd been testing players and finding ways around it.
Yeah, so someone would come and say, I'm going to test positive for cocaine. They say, all right, we'll say you've got a sore hammy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
That
then
was the suggestion.
that was the suggestion, and the AFL came out and said that yes, like protection of players is paramount when it comes to this. Well, the AFL have been cleared of breaching anti-doping rules over those so-called off-the-books testing for illicit drugs. So the review identified that there were no breaches.
Wow. There you
Yeah.
go. So all hearsay.
Yeah, but then Sports Integrity Australia did say that, they found the confidentiality provision at the heart of the league's policy had fostered
The people. Pumped up kicks.
suspicion. So I'm so tired. Fostered suspicion of sinister motives. So it's basically saying like, yeah, policy can still
It's
have
suspicious.
work done to it.
Yeah.
But I do think it's important seeing as that's such a big story earlier in the year to say that they have been
Cleared.
cleared.
But they probably still did it.
Yeah, and the AFL and the Sports Integrity Australia did say that the AFL should release de-identified data about illicit drugs twice yearly just to keep everything transparent to the public. And I don't hate that. Like if it's de-identified, so you're not naming players, you're just saying like this is the amount of players that are doing drugs, these are the drugs that are being
Used.
used. Like I like that
Yeah, I'm
transparency.
down with that.
I'm down with that. Also, because
I'm on steroids.
Also, I know you are. You look,
back.
Yeah.
I would like to see those numbers versus the community, because I feel like
Yes.
that's always one of the big issues. But
Yeah.
it's like if 34% of the community are having a Jaws every week and 30% of AFL players are having a Jaws every week, well, there you go.
You want everyone to piss test?
Well, they are anyway, aren't they?
Who?
The players?
No, I'm saying everyone.
Oh, yeah, but we can take you. There's ways of finding out what's going on in the community, right? You just ask them.
Speaking of which, we've had feedback.
Yeah?
Helga's changed over every 2 days.
That's not how it happened at my store. But sure.
I've got people who reckon they're duty managers and stuff.
Yeah, right. Maybe they've changed stuff since I ran
Or maybe
goals.
some good calls, some bad calls,
Yeah, maybe.
Woolies, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I totally forgot about that. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, I think it's interesting as well, especially because whenever a player is done doing drugs, it is this whole, they kind of put up on this, like, I don't want to use the word crucified, but they really are. And it's just being like, how could they do this to the club and community when, well, let's put this in the wider context of actually what's going on.
Yeah.
I think it's a common thing in sports, in AFL in particular, is the rumor is like headlines and treated as fact, and then often when it's quashed a little bit later, that's given not
Yeah.
true.
Like the two first rounders for Daniel Rioli, like that's just being reported as fact and everyone's commenting on it as fact, where it's just like, that was a rumor who started by God knows who, right? Like, and it might be true or it might not be, right?
Yeah.
But it's crazy how everyone just like goes on it as fact. It's
Because
insane.
it's almost framed as like, isn't this an interesting conversation point? And but the subtext is, this is happening.
Yeah.
But it's more being, the clever journalists are saying, isn't this interesting?
Tweet everything as a question,
Yeah,
exactly.
not as a fact.
Yeah, there were some things like with video on TV sports panel shows, you need to frame it. If you want to show footage, you have to go, what do you think of this? As opposed to going, look at this.
Look at this.
Yeah, because that you need to, if a thing's a point of discussion, you can frame it. You go, do you think it's crazy that people are saying that you have a jozzer every day and you refuse to get piss tested?
That's me.
That's people are saying that. Yeah, like, you know.
Because I'd be fired from my job if we did piss tests at Haven't You Done Well Productions.
You haven't done drugs in like a decade.
Yeah, no, I'm very clean. I'm straight edge, in fact. Don't drink, don't smoke, don't do drugs.
It lives off Red Bull though.
But you are just
And
chaining
very overweight.
milk Freddos at the moment.
Yes, well, we got somewhere good with that discussion.
We got on track and then we got off track, and
Yes.
that is perfect. That's what the people want.
Yes.
Speaking of changes, so last week we talked about the potential draft changes that will come in for father and son and academy. It's looking like that will be from next year now.
Oh, Laura
What a
Kane sort
surprise,
of.
hey?
Yeah, and I think that that's probably come from a lot of club feedback, because it does seem like the AFL are working really closely with clubs and are in constant dialogue about this. But clubs will be allowed to trade draft picks 2 years in advance under AFL
Futures.
changes, and that will come as soon as this year.
We have futures now, though, don't we? You can trade futures now, I think.
As in future draft.
2
pick.
years in advance. Yeah, but you can now you'll be able
Oh,
to
extra years in advance.
2 years in advance.
Great.
And clubs are also expected to be able to trade salary cap space for draft picks, which
Great.
is going to
Trade-
make things interesting.
Trade
It's not gonna be
salary
good
cap
for my
space
head.
for draft picks.
Which is what you do in the NBA. You know when it's like, we'll chuck you $2 million if we can have rights to the 50th pick?
right.
Yeah. So you know in NBA you can do cash deals. It'll be the same as that, I imagine.
right.
So it's like, you've got salary cap issues, so we'll take player X off you and we'll chuck you $2 million. And then you're like, okay, well that gets us over the line because we had all these salary cap issues.
wow.
Yeah. So I assume what they're talking about.
Yeah, and all of this is coming under the whole trying to be more equal in the competition. So it'll be interesting just to see how all of this plays out, really.
Yeah. That is interesting.
People are saying it's your birthday, Tom, in the chat. Is there anything that's to do with that?
And I think my birthday's on the 1st of the 11th, 89.
Yeah, so do I. I don't know why people are saying that.
Either do I.
But okay, that's interesting. The cash. I wonder what the implications of the salary thing is.
Yeah.
Like, will that be of benefit to anyone?
I gotta say, when I started to get into sports reporting, I didn't realize how much I'd have to get my head around salary caps and things. It was like, I like watching a ball ping around a ground, and now I've just got to like.
So
Learn all this information.
what's the difference, man? So you might not have the answer. What's the difference between, we'll trade you Brody Grundy and to help you get it done, we'll pay part of his salary?
Yeah.
What's the difference between that and trading cash? Because in a sense, isn't that already done? Because like, you can't afford Brody Grundy, but we'll pay part of it to get it done.
my guess, unless you have the answer, if 10 millions, you have 10 million to spend on players, and North Melbourne come to you and say, well, we'll give you $1 million we can only spend to 9 million and you can now spend to 11 million.
Yeah, right.
Maybe.
Which is not an equalization measure. That's why I was wondering if it's
anti-equalization.
Yeah, which is why I was wondering if it was more to do with...
To get the advantage, maybe you pay huge overs.
Yeah. Well, which is what happens in the NBA. Like you have to pay that tax if you go over. And it's insane. Yeah.
If you go over this, the luxury tax.
Yeah, which is quite brutal.
40-50% tax or something crazy.
Yeah.
And I do wonder as well if this is just to put like the onus back onto clubs who are trying to receive quote unquote handouts from the AFL. So if you've got clubs that are really struggling and they can't win any games and then they're trying to get stuff from the AFL can, we've put these measured in place, so you have to, the responsibility is now put back on clubs.
Yeah.
I could be completely wrong, but is it that everyone gets the same amount of salary? They get that from the AFL who pay all of everyone's salary and you can, but some clubs choose to not pay all of that and use it themselves to help their club. Is that right? Did that used to happen? Does that happen? There's teams that don't pay all of their salary, I think.
Yes. I think you have to pay like 97% or something.
Right.
But I can think of times where Gold Coast has overpaid players because they needed to use that salary cap. So could they have done better by saying, let's not sign this player A who's worth 500 to 700. Let's trade that 200,000 for a third round pick 3 years later or something, rather than overpaying the player.
Yeah.
That could be interesting because we went through a period of just overpaying everyone just to fill up that salary cap. But I don't think that's good because then you get situations like with Jack Bowes where we had to trade pick 7 Jack Bowes just to get that salary out of there. You know,
some mismanagement going on.
It absolutely was, right? But sometimes you're forced, right? If you have that profile where it's like young players, lots of rookies, and you're struggling to fill the salary.
It looked silly there, but that was a measured attempt to make room for academy players, which everyone is now saying that's unfair.
Exactly. But we knew what we were doing 100%.
You found the players. Like you got Jed Walter from a league background. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Swooped in, picked him up, put it in the mouth, bang, bang.
He's good. He's good.
Turn that into a sting. Turn that sentence into a sting.
Shall we just do a quick around the grounds of news? Because I think that a lot of the news that kind of comes through is things like Paddy Dangerfield is free to play against Essendon after being cleared at the Tribunal for his dangerous tackle on Sam Walsh. Feels like every week someone's being cleared from a dangerous tackle.
A Dangerfield tackle.
Yeah, a Dangerfield tackle.
Luckily he did that fishing podcast because it's taught him how to use the gift of the gab is what people
I think
saying.
Also being the president of the PA is probably given him the gift of the gab. I think he knows the rule book inside out, actually.
That's true.
Do you think that it was a fair call to let him get off?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that he was very persuasive in his arguments and it's kind of hard to argue against his intent. I think he made a really good case for himself.
It wasn't
that he
slingish.
was trying to pull back. Yeah, he wasn't slinging. And yes, he did have Walsh's, both of his arms pinned, but he was trying to pull back in the tackle. Yeah. And Walsh didn't hit his head hard on the ground or anything
it looked worse in real time than it was.
When it happened at the time, I was like,
it looks like his head bang, bounces like a basketball. But
do you reckon?
Or if you were listening to the commentary, that Walsh was putting his own head on the ground. Tut, tut, tut.
Yeah, that was interesting. People were upset about it.
Fair enough. I think that's fair to be upset about that.
And some people were like, hey, it's fair. And
depends who you go for, I guess.
Yes. But I don't. Do you care would Bombers fans care?
Well, I actually had someone quite high up at Channel 9 message me last night, and my immediate to get a message quite late, I did have a stomach churn, especially because I was working on this piece that had to go through quite a lot of legal steps. But no, it was a reaction to the tribunal. I was like, oh my God.
It's his second week back. He's got some he's injury prone and stuff he might not be back. How did he play in this game? He was okay, wasn't he?
I think he was fine.
I thought it was pretty influential, actually.
There you
was
go.
he?
Yeah.
Marns
especially because I think Geelong are struggling a little bit with their veterans falling down with Tom Hawkins being out now for 6 to 8 weeks.
6 to 8.
Yikes.
There was someone framed it as he might be back if they don't make the finals.
Yep.
Just in time for a goodbye game.
I think I'm going to get a bit emotional, actually.
Will you?
Yeah, I really like Hawkins.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
I got emotional watching Paddington 2.
Fair enough. I haven't seen it.
It's a 10. It's a 5-star film.
I went to see Inside Out 2 with Hester Brown and their 2 kids.
Yeah.
So sweet.
Were they gripped by it? Were they with it?
Well, that second time they've seen it, because I really wanted to see it, so they were like, we'll take money. So sweet. And then
They went twice to see Inside Out 2. That's 4 Inside Outs.
Yep. And dear Isla sat on my lap for it. And she wanted to be hugged, but she put her head right in front of my head, and I didn't want to move it. So I was like, "Well, it sounds good."
Oh, yeah.
My take on the Inside Outs, it feels a bit. I'm outvoted because people really like them, but I feel like they're a bit like I'm like a bit like drama schooly in that I'm anxiety and I act like this. It's the subtext is very up front.
Yeah, because it's for kids. It's teaching kids about emotions.
Yeah, there's no subtlety.
Yeah, but everything Pixar make is for kids, but a lot of it is done with a bit more,
Like Soul.
nuance.
Yeah, but they're not. But they're teaching kids. Like, how have you had a? Oh, maybe I was like, have you had a conversation with your kid? But like, you trying to teach Atlas what anxiety is? Would you not have really heavy hand to like this? You know what I mean? You're not going to have like a really nuanced conversation with a 4-year-old about what
I think
anxiety
that's right.
is.
And I think there's always levels, right? And I think that's why sometimes you get caught in a trap with your kids, right? Of like, you've told them basic level and it comes back to bite you later because you gave the most basic explanation. So yeah, there's always levels and nuance to it.
If it works for kids, that's great. It's just usually with Pixar's, you can watch it as an adult or a kid.
That's
Yeah,
sort
but
of
that's
what
why
I'm
they
getting
had
at.
like
Yeah.
jokes about like, because they had like nostalgia coming. Have you seen Inside Out 2?
No.
Oh, well, there's obviously jokes there that are for adults.
Yeah.
That the kids do, that just would just
Maybe
go
I should
over
say
the
it.
kids. And there's like the parents like have a weekend just by themselves. Like, what are we gonna do on the weekend? And the husband's like, yeah.
Root.
Yeah.
It's so funny because since my son has been born, I've been trying to get him to watch Soul because it's one of my favorite films, and he only loves cars. But like a couple of weeks ago, I finally got him into Soul. And halfway through, I was like really upset, and I was like, "Why did I want to get my son to watch Soul? It's the most fucking awful, upsetting film."
Oh, like
Soul's
Spirited Away.
awesome.
Oh,
Yeah, same.
Animated movies just hug at your heart.
Yeah, Soul's one of my favorite films of all time, full stop. But when I was like, oh my God, I don't want to watch this anymore.
Have either of you seen Paddington 2?
No, sorry.
No, but I watched Paddington 1 for the first time yesterday.
Sorry, you just seem so drugged up. He's like,
And I didn't realize it was so crazy with like the Peru angle and all that is insane.
It's the director is the almighty Bush director.
Oh.
Everyone in it is a brilliant actor. Like they're the best films ever made.
Hattie loves it, and he has Paddington Bear pajamas.
You put on 2 tonight, man.
I might.
Put on 2 tonight, my bro.
All right, my dude.
but anyway, concussion expert Dr. Alan Pearce did criticise the tribunal decision
Then I changed my mind.
for Dangerfield.
I changed my mind then, and he should have got 6 weeks.
Okay. But speaking of that, Simon Goodwin in his presser, he did say that Stephen May's staging antics, all the conversation around Stephen May's staging antics had been a bit much.
Yes. He called out Mark Robinson directly.
Yeah, because Mark Robinson said that May was a cheat.
Really?
For staging.
I mean, you said something similar.
I said something similar.
Yeah, he said that.
I framed it as a question, though. I said, if you play for high tackles to trick an umpire, is that cheating?
Okay, that's interesting, because when you said something similar, I was like, because I have a very different take to the two of you from listening to Monday's Out when you're like, oh, I didn't think it was a big deal. I was so disgusted watching that footage. I hated watching that footage. Given light of how serious we're taking concussion at the moment and how serious it needs to be taken, and if one of your teammates just had to medically retire from concussion and you're pretending to have a head injury where you're actually grabbing at your head. So also, is that not crying wolf? Like, we need to be taking this stuff
that's
seriously.
True. Yeah.
But I do think he was really embarrassed and he won't do it again.
Do you think it's cheating?
No.
I think it is.
Yeah, he was hard on cheating.
It's cheating.
Yeah, my whole thing was like, I was just really shocked that the community cared so much, you know? I just didn't have much of an opinion on it. And I was just oh, whatever, you know, he did the wrong thing, whatever. And then to see the community really upset about it, I was like,
I love seeing the community upset about it. It's like, good, take this stuff so seriously. Also, like, if he was to grab his, like, because he grabbed his head, if he was to hold it for just 2 more seconds, the people in the arc would have been like, well, given our head assessment from visuals, because he hasn't moved in 2 seconds, he would have to come off.
CTE.
So that backfires.
I agree.
On Melbourne. Should backfire.
I think it should be. I think it should be a suspension or make it stop happening.
Yes.
My only addition is that if you are making other players have to make contact with your head so you can get a free. Like if you're positioning your body that could potentially lead to you getting a serious spinal or neck injury, that should also be a suspension.
I agree.
And I think I have a lower bar for what cheating means. But because like cheating is different to maybe you're a cheat. But if you're trying to trick an umpire to get an advantage, I think that's in the realm of cheating.
Yeah, and if you did that in so many other sports, like you would just be universally condemned. If you did that in cricket, right? Like there's that whole code of like, if it hit the bat, you know, then you say it hit the bat, you know, like.
He walked out of his crease.
Yeah.
Speaking of cricket, Australia's out of the T20.
Yeah. And it was props for Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Oh, was it Afghanistan? Right.
They lost 2 games. Left to Afghanistan.
I thought it was Bangladesh.
They lost to Afghanistan and maybe Bangladesh.
Yeah, right.
It was a really interesting day in this to be at the age because you had the Lynn trial, you had Julian Assange become free, and then you had Australia getting out of the T20. So depending on where you were in the newsroom, it was everyone watching TVs and like making all of these noises. It was really kind of fun.
Yeah, that's fun.
It was fun. Callum Mills is at least another month away from making his first appearance of the season.
But he's playing this week, isn't he?
Probably through the VFL.
Yeah. What poor team is he playing in the Coburg Lions?
I think it's North.
Yeah, Jesus.
Because I saw Polly, friend of the pod Polly, tweet, sucks to be North or something. Not those words, but that was the ilk of the... that was the vibe of the tweet.
Don't put him in.
Well,
Don't
it's also...
change the team.
It's Luke Parker coming back, so it's you've playing Luke Parker and Callum Mills.
Yeah.
Just on Sydney while we have a brief moment on them. The feedback I got to my claim that Carlton, Brisbane and Collingwood will not win the grand final was, but Sydney don't play there.
Yeah.
And so like, I'm like, great. So the home ground advantage for teams that play there. Let's look at it. So Collingwood's is to Brisbane, if we used the grand final last year, 4 points?
Yeah.
So that means that Sydney will win the grand final by 86 points.
I did love that. It's so silly.
They're the margin they're winning every game by. Don't just look at the games they're winning. Look at their percentage.
I know.
Their percentage is 148%. The second team on the ladder is, let's go by percentage. Can you do that button? Come on, Matt. Matt, let's be able to click the
Who's Matt?
Never mind.
He's looking at the TV. The TV's not even working. There's no one on the TV.
Someone who's been on and off steroids for 2 weeks.
I thought 360 was on the TV.
He literally looked dead at the TV.
I'm on a lot of drugs.
And said, Matt, fix it. It's like, Broden, that's a black screen.
Matt knows who I'm talking to.
Okay. I think I know who you're talking about too.
But they're clear by 26% of the next team on percentage, which is Brisbane Lions, who are in 10th.
So I reckon you drop James Jordan and Jordan for...
Don't you dare take
Rowbottom's so good. No, don't.
Parker, yeah.
No.
Oh, Jordan at least.
Help.
Okay. Christian Petrarca has opened up about his injuries, saying that they are one of the most traumatic experiences of his life, and particularly talked about the impact that it's had on his family and his fiance. And he got really emotional. Like he was almost brought to tears when he was talking about this, which is absolutely fair enough. And I'm pro seeing players express feelings and talk about how traumatic things that they go through for the game are.
Where was this? I missed
360.
It. Oh, 360.
He's an emotional fellow too. He's not afraid to show his emotions.
Love that.
The spectrum as well. Like after he kicked that sausage goal and walked back to the square with his eyes like this. I'm a god. No, it's good that he doesn't. Do you think I haven't been able to focus. Did it seem like he was mad with MFC, or is it more no?
Well, I don't think someone as clever as him would let it be publicly known, even if he was, because that would have repercussions.
I got you.
I'm not saying that would have a repercussion from the club, just in the public sphere.
I don't think there was any concussion.
Oh my god.
Not even close.
No, but Rowbottom was best on ground on the weekend.
I know. That's why I mentioned it. You guys don't know what I do here.
This conversation is pivoting around.
You guys don't. I'm the mastermind behind all the engagement. You guys don't get it.
I had something to say now. I've completely forgot.
Oh, sorry, Marns.
No, not at all. And then I worked on 2 local footy stories this week, which have both been really, really interesting to work on. One is looking at just how much climate change is going to affect local footy and is already affecting local footy, because the AFL have put like millions of dollars into 535 community clubs that have needed help due to impacts of fires and floods.
So Shepherd and Swans, the Shepherd and facilities was what you focused the article around, mate?
Yeah, the case study that I used was in the 2020 Victoria floods, the Shepherd and Swans facilities were completely washed out. And it's so sad. Like, if you think about like, okay, well, yes, they don't have club rooms and that means that they can't play. But it's also like, okay, well, they had those club rooms for 60 years. Like the sentimental value and all the history, when you think about like how much footy clubs are like the heart of regional places, like that's devastating.
Yeah. And what was the other article? The Junior Football League investigates after teenage boy allegedly clashes with umpire. Is that you?
Yeah. So that went through
Clashed with an umpire.
A lot of legal, because so it was in the under 15. It was in an under 15 boys match. So this kid was 15 or under, and he made physical deliberate contact with an umpire twice.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and so the
not good.
Yarra Junior Football League is investigating.
I played in that league.
Was it you?
No, no.
Are you setting those standards?
Yeah, no, that's not good.
That's not good.
No, really bad. And the reason that I wanted to do this article, because it's like very sensitive when you're dealing with a kid.
Yeah.
And then clubs, obviously, to do the actual article and to get sources on the record. And like it's a lot of uncomfortable work. But I really wanted to do it because the article then goes into umpire safety. So it's quoted like Claire O'Neill, who spoke about a few years ago, her son, who he started umpiring when he was 13. And when he got to his 50th match at community level, he just listed all of the abuse.
Yeah, no, there's some absolute dead shits out there. When I used to ref basketball when I was 14, I used to think it was normal that adults would yell at me by name. I had an ex-coach who used to coach me, scream verbal abuse at me when I was coaching, when I was reffing a team he was coaching. There's some, it's one and done. Like if you yell at a kid, you gotta go live in a little hut.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Like,
and especially like, I mean, any kid, but also umpires. You're not going to have a sport without, you don't have a competition. There's no game without umpires.
I was just walking my dog on Saturday around a footy oval and there was people screaming at the it's in a kid's game.
And they're kids. Like, could you imagine screaming at a 15-year-old child?
No, I could not.
Let alone, then it's kid on kid.
I could imagine screaming at I can imagine circumstances where I would, like, hey, give me back my hat, you punk. But not in umpiring circumstances. No. Like, hey, give me back my prednisolone steroids. You stole them. Like, these are circumstances where I would yell at a kid, but not an umpire.
No. But it was interesting just working on some local stories.
Yeah, I love that.
And flexing that investigative muscle.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You should. Have you got stories that you're working on now that you can't talk about?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, and a lot of them, some also just like never see the light of day, which is also a bit like
speculative ones.
Well, just ones that like like quite like even that one, that local footy one, that's got to be airtight.
Yeah.
Before we can press publish.
Do you have to go through a legal department once you've done it? And, yeah.
And the legal department's like, can't say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Do you have some that you hope you get to release at some point that you're still working on, like you're really excited about?
Yeah.
Wow. Keep your ears. You should subscribe to The Age.
Yeah. The next quill are coming.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Here come the quills.
Here come the quills.
But not the Kate Winslet sort of weird film.
Well, what are you talking about?
Quills.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
You haven't seen any films, I've noticed. So there's a big list of films for you to see.
We should have a movie party.
I'll watch Inside Out 2 and then you watch A League of Their Own. We'll start there.
Okay. Should we have like a movie instead of book club, but like movie club?
Yeah, but whoever wins out of Essendon and Sons gets to like choose like what movies to watch.
He'll pick Matrix and you'll pick like Inside Out 2 or
Whip It. No, Stick It. Stick It's my favourite sports film. It's about the gymnasts at the Olympics. Oh. Maybe not the Olympics, but it's about the gymnasts.
Whip It.
No, Whip It's about roller derby.
Oh,
with
Whip It,
Elliot Page.
Yep. Anyway. Yes, that roller skating. Who did I talk to you about that league? We've got to get moving because you've got to go to NRL.
Oh,
so
crap,
let's do some
tipping. Tipping.
It all starts Friday night at the Gabba with the Brisbane Lions taking on the indefeatable Melbourne Demons. I've just had some breaking news. No, I can't talk about that.
Is it a tweet?
Yeah, it's something. I just heard a very exciting rumor about football that I can't talk about. But what I will say is,
Open
it's
your
locked.
phone.
You can't. No, absolutely not. You can't have the scoop. You work in the press, the free
Brisbane
press.
by 70.
We have a debuter in Andy Mona's Wakefield, who I'm so excited to see play.
Oh, yeah.
On Friday night. So it feels like the D's. Last week we had 10 under 22 play in the side. So in a side under 22, it's one of the youngest teams in the league now, and it's going to be 11 now or something like that, I believe. So that's exciting.
Who's making way for this new player?
I don't know. I don't know. But also Lever will be back as well, and
okay.
I believe that Lockie Hunter is also available.
And with
as well.
Petrarca out, I assume they're still working out what that looks like. And how to
Yeah,
manage
we got
that.
room. We got room.
60 points then.
Yeah, okay, great. Okay, I'll tip Brizzy, but I'll predict I'll also be sad.
I also just think that Brizzy having an exciting run home, and they've got no wiggle room really. They've got to win all these games if they want to play finals. Is exciting. And
Yeah.
that's a fun storyline to follow.
Isn't it?
And to be honest, as watching this, I saw them play live a few days ago, and I wasn't that impressed as they destroyed the entire fabric of a football club in front of me. And I hope they don't
Well,
do the same.
seeing as Port Adelaide did that to Essendon earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Whatever.
What goes around comes around, eh?
Yeah.
North v Doggies on Saturday at Marvel Stadium.
North are due a win. I've tipped the Dogs to be
Yeah.
just
So
to be
clear.
clear.
Right up
but
front.
North are due a win. I mean, I couldn't believe that they only lost to Melbourne by 3 points and then only lost to Collingwood by 1 point.
I know.
They're so close. They're going to get it.
I think that they might have run out of steam. I think they may
Yeah,
have.
that's fair.
They may have eaten their steroids a little too early, if you know what I mean.
Potentially.
So I'm going to tip the Doggies, and then Saturday as well at 1:45 at the SCG. Freo Swans low key is a good game. You'd be crazy to tip Freo, but they are a veritable good team.
Veritable good team.
What's
Got that
veritable
on the
mean,
re-
Marnie? I'm asking.
I'm not
Jen.
sure if it's a word.
Veritable.
I mean, assume it means like verifiable.
I've read the word before.
I know it in the framing of a veritable smorgasbord. So if I was
Is that like a legit smorgasbord?
Used for emphasis, often to qualify a metaphor.
being in fact the thing. It's a veritable. They are a veritable gun side.
Okay.
Maybe.
They're a veritable flaky side.
Yeah, that's better use, I think.
Yeah.
Swannies by 50, but an honourable 50-point loss. For Freo.
Gutsy. A
Yeah.
gutsy loss from Freo.
The best time slot of the week, 4:30 Saturday Arvo. We've got at the People First Stadium, where the Suns are undefeated, taking on the Collingwood Magpies off
A buy.
a bye.
We destroyed them. Absolutely.
Okay, well, I've tipped Collingwood.
Yeah. They sold it out for us though. They sold it out like 2 weeks in advance.
They're
which is
gonna-
crazy.
Well, that was like Sydney selling out GWS's.
Yeah, we love that.
You know that Collingwood are lobbying to not play home games at Marvel and instead to play them at People First.
Yeah,
So-
the Collingwood people love going up to Gold Coast and having a couple of rides at Movie World, then going to watch the footy.
yeah.
I actually really respect that.
Yeah.
Like, not the anti-Marvel, because as we all know, I'm not anti-Marvel at all. They've got hot vegetarian food.
Yeah.
But I'm pro treating your fan bases outside of your area with respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, or they just like hate Marvel beyond all.
Apparently everyone does, except me.
Yeah, no, it is disrespected.
Yeah, it's so disrespectful. It's a fine stadium.
I think I would take the roof off and put on one of those fake, like natural light roofs.
Yeah,
A skylight.
No. I just put like
Get a
Sky?
skylight in there.
in the Vegas.
maybe some clouds.
In the Vegas one, they put like you can get in natural light. The place is depressing when it's got the fluorescent.
That's awful.
It feels like
I
a
hate it
Kmart.
so much.
But if you can put
Yeah,
on
it
like
does
something
feel
that
like
lets
Kmart.
natural light in, but also stops it from having that weird stunted lighting halfway
Yeah.
through, that would be a vibe.
We'll warm up.
And
the
if they
last
wiped all the dust off the top layer
Just
of
a-
those beams.
a damp cloth.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's just, it actually makes me feel a bit sick when I look at it.
week.
Yeah.
Just really quickly, Collingwood always play really well in Gold Coast too, but
No,
I think we will get it done.
Last year they beat you by like genuinely 200 points.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
the last
They
straw
were
for Stewie Jew.
Yeah, they
Oh,
were
I
really.
remember that.
They always just seem to play really well up there. They love it.
Saturday night, Crows versus Giants at Adelaide Oval. I'm going the Giants here.
I've also gone the Giants, but Adelaide might be able to do this.
And then also on 7, who you going for that?
Yeah, Giants.
7:30 that we got on Saturday night. Great game, Cats Bombers at the MCG.
It is the country round game at the MCG.
Nothing more country than forcing Geelong people to drive to Melbourne on a Saturday night and then drive home at 1 a.m. That's so country.
It's so country.
Bombers.
They'll have a petting zoo.
Tipping the Bombers.
I'm also tipping the Bombers.
I'm tipping the Bombers too. Watch them fly up.
Sunday, 1:10 Marvel Stadium, Sainers and Port.
This is tough, actually. This
Bounce
is the
back
hard
game.
one. This is the hard one.
I've tipped Port Adelaide because I think that they are just going to have to respond to what happened to them last weekend. But Saints are favourites.
Did you hear Windhager rumours, by the way?
No.
Contracted Windhager on the move.
Really?
Yeah.
To where?
Don't know.
Windhager's great.
Yeah.
Been really good this year.
No, sorry, not Windhager. Who's the? Maybe Rowan Marshall.
No.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, we love Marshall.
Yeah. I heard this from Sam Edmund on SEN.
Oh, right. That's crazy. I forgot to put Marshall in my next bracket of excellent rucks on the weekend and people were mad.
Well, yeah.
But it was just off the top of the dome, guys. You got to understand.
I don't think he'll move, but yeah.
You gotta
Yeah,
understand.
rumours suggest that he might have a look around at other clubs.
Fair enough.
So
He's just
that
juicing
is
them.
very speculative on both fronts.
He'll juice them. I think Port Adelaide as well, only because St Kilda are coming off a bye as well.
Richmond versus Carlton, 3:20 MCG. Makes me feel like we're in round 1.
Yeah. Merciless slaughter probably from Carlton. Or it's like, both home sides,
Tom Lynch injured again.
Yeah.
Oh, I know,
Very sad.
hamstring. That's horrible.
Yeah.
And then the last game of the week, 4:40. I'll see you, Tom, watching this game.
Yeah.
If we can get KO figured out in this room.
Yeah.
The West Coast Eagles versus Hawthorn. The Battle of the Birds. In real life, an eagle would fuck up a hawk.
Is that true?
Oh, just fucking destroy.
What about a little eagle and a big hawk?
The
I'd still go eagle.
breed.
But does the eagle have like killer instinct,
No, they're bigger.
Yeah, so I'm saying if it was a bigger hawk, maybe the hawk would win.
I don't know the circumstances.
Whereas
Tom.
it's like if you're talking about a whale versus a shark, it doesn't matter the size. The shark wins. One's got killer instinct.
Well, I'm tipping the Hawks.
I'm tipping the Hawks as well.
I've also tipped the Hawks.
And who are you tipping tonight for the State of Odds?
I'm going to tip the Blues just because I really don't want the final game to be like, well, Queensland have already won the series. Like, that's
Yeah.
so
No
boring.
one
That happens all the time. So boring.
Yeah, I feel like, and I said it on the ABC on Monday night, New South Wales is shit. Like, they don't win. And I know it's sad. I know it offends people, but they're just, it's like, can we make it so that they're not, that Queensland aren't as good or something? Because like every year, when's the last time New South Wales won?
Won a series?
Yeah.
Yeah, God, I don't even know.
We need the
Probably
Victorian
not that
team.
long.
That'll fix it all up.
But Latrell's back. Everything's saved.
Latrell Mitchell. No, that is exciting. It'll be cool to give him a microphone.
Yeah.
Because he talks. That's what I
Put
know.
it in his face. Well, no, because he's been more measured.
He's been
as
more
of late.
measured.
'Cause he's-
Maybe he read Measure for Measure by William Shakespeare.
Oh, great play.
Oh, in the last 10 years, the Maroons have won 6 series. So the Blues have won 4 in the last 10.
I'm over exaggerating, aren't I?
Yeah.
Or exaggerating.
Yeah,
That's
but it
your
does
job.
seem
You're
like
a
that.
media pundit now. You've got to say stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that the Blues never win? That's what you should say.
And then I'd say, no, it's an incorrect. It's an incorrect
Incorrect.
statement to
Now
say.
be
But
like-
anyway, I've got to go to the MCG.
Yeah, please get out of here.
We're going to leave it there. We'll see you on the weekend. We've got a very special guest on the podcast this weekend. It's a surprise. You'll have to see. But if not, we'll enjoy the football. Marnie, have a great time at the league. And everyone else, bounce that pill. And Marnie, get out of here and we'll just chat to these people for 5 minutes.
I'm trying, but my Uber wasn't working, and now it's like re-downloading itself.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
It's annoying. A couple of subscriptions during the pod.
Oh, we'll hit him up.
Thank you, Connor, for being a Footy Foundation member. Thank you, Rach, for the $3. Very kind of you. There may have been others.
Danderfield?
It is. Rach says, see the Bombers fly down.
Yeah.
You guys go watch Paddington too.
Yeah, I mean, this is the great thing about having a baby.
But I genuinely think in the break we should do movie club.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you
I'm
can
so
start
down.
doing it
People wanna
now.
watch movies with us?
Hey, if anyone's looking for something to watch tonight on Netflix because there's no footy or anything on, chuck on the documentary. It's on Netflix now about Nickelback. Genuinely
Really?
great. Yeah.
It's literally the pinnacle of rugby league on tonight. But
Oh, yeah. But this Nickelback documentary is really good. Why is it the peak? Shouldn't the grand final be the peak?
no.
It's weird.
Because but imagine like all of the hype and stuff around All Australian. Imagine
Yeah.
if you actually got to watch that All Australian
Yeah.
and play.
Yeah, it would be amazing.
Yeah, it'd be all right.
Nah, it would be unreal.
Let me know in the chat if Nickelback is better than State of Origin. Do you know what I would love? State of Orange Juice.
You would love that.
I don't know what that means though. Like a battle of the best orange juices from each state.
Yeah.
State of Orange
There's
Juice.
a lot of fake orange juices going out there. Like Just Juice, you know, the little ones in the cardboard? They're
Yeah.
not good.
Yeah. See you, Marns. Travel safe.
Have a great night at work. Thank you for coming in even on your busy night.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And hey, throw 1 minute.
Bye-bye.
Throw that fat football.
Oh, we lost your microphone.
Throw that fat football.
It's back.
State of Orange Juice.
Yeah, so the one in the cardboard is not very real. You know what I mean?
Well, it depends.
I'm just saying I had it yesterday with my son and it's not nice. Is it Just Juice in the cardboard?
Just Juice is not. Yeah,
No, it's not actually juice, I don't think. But the other brands are pretty good.
You're pretty good.
Yeah.
But Paddington too, man.
Yeah, someone said here that you're sponsored by Big Paddington.
Big yeah, I am. I'm getting all my I'm lobbyists, the powerful Paddington lobbyists, the marmalade lobbyists. It's all about marmalade, Tom.
Yeah.
He's really good at making marmalade.
And they called him Paddington because that's the train station he showed up.
Yeah, it's very very moving.
Yeah, very
moving. And it's just good. It like you go, I think England fucking sucks.
Yes.
And then like I go, this is the heart. This is what's nice about England.
Yes, I can see that.
The heart of why people love England.
That's why I don't. J.K. Rowling's like a vicious transphobe now, but when I used to love Harry Potter back in the day, that's what I used to get
What's
out
good
of that.
about England.
Yeah, like that.
It
warmth and,
that's what the whole show is. It personifies the nice things of Britain.
yeah, but overall, yeah, London sucks.
What can I just get really clear on? Maybe the joke has gone too far and I'll never get it now. But why everyone's saying happy birthday to Tom?
Yeah, what did I miss out on?
Did you say something about it being your?
I might have. Or is it just one person though, Broden? You know, it might be just one person.
I
in the
saw a
chat.
run where everyone was like,
Happy
"Hey,
birthday."
Tom."
Someone
happy
probably just started
birthday."
it for fun. You know.
The TV show of Paddington's probably fucking absolute shit. Like
That is usually the way the movie is good and then the show is bad.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda's that way.
Are the movies of Kung Fu Panda good?
The movies of Kung Fu Panda are excellent in my opinion. They're just good fun. You know what I mean? Nothing too crazy going on there. No good message or anything.
Yeah, I feel you, Holmes.
Happy birthday, Broden.
Yeah, see, I believe it's a bit of a joke.
Is it the anniversary of Tom being reborn as a Greek in the Big Blue Tub? It could be.
What do you think of the adaptation of The Sopranos to a TV series?
Oh, what's it called? 784 or something? New Haven?
The Many Saints of Newark.
Yeah, that's the one I meant.
Yeah.
784, Many Saints of Newark.
It's a fun fact that a lot of people don't know, but The Many Saints of Newark was the movie, and then they said, well, let's make a spin-off TV series called The Sopranos. Did you want to talk about Jats?
Oh, yeah, I forgot to do it on pod, but they were fucking awful. That texture of the biscuit didn't work well at all. The flavour I have no issue with, but there was no crunch. It was like crumbly inside of my Tim Tam. You know what it reminded me of? Just go out and have a Scotch biscuit dipped in chocolate. Like, why do you need to have a Jats for? It's crumbly, Broden. No biscuit crunch, no... The flavour was fine. It wasn't that salty. It wasn't like, oh, there's the salt we're looking for. It was just like a very... Yeah, crumbly biscuit that I wasn't a fan of. And next time I'll just have a chocolate dipped Scotch biscuit, I'd say.
Tom.
Yeah.
I've just been sitting here thinking of what to say to this tripe.
Yeah.
Just bile just seeping from your mouth.
Yeah.
And should I address the things you're saying? But all I can really come up with is fuck you. Like, and go fuck yourself.
Have you ever had a refrigerated double coat?
I had a refrigerated double coat yesterday.
Because
Tom.
that shits on anything.
I had
that
one
Jats
yesterday.
And how good are they? That's Tim Tams at its best, in my opinion. Double coat from the fridge, you just can't beat it. And this Jats stuff, it's just, maybe I just don't like the texture. Do you know what I mean? There's no crunch to it.
I wish Dangerfield just fucking tackled you,
dangerously.
in a way that's not suspendable.
Yeah. Do you like the Jats in general? Because I think perhaps I don't really like Jats in general because of the texture.
I'm not chasing it. You can't. What are you talking? You're not getting any tech. You're not being able.
Compare like a shape to a Jats. It's not the same texture. Or even like a
Jats are a crunchy salada.
No, it's not crunchy though. It's like it's starchy inside. So if you have like a shape at Jats
Savoy,
and then,
I meant not a salada. Sorry.
Yeah, and Savoy's different again. So if you had a Jats, a shape, and then like an Anzac biscuit, very different.
I love it. I think the pairing of the tastes is just profound.
Taste was all right. I still would just much prefer a refrigerated double coat. That's all I'm saying. But Marnie got me this packet of. Marnie just brings me. She's fattening me up for something. She's going
to cook you in a pie.
Just snacks every week. So I've got some Murray River salted caramel. This would be better than the Jats for sure.
Wrong.
There's no doubt in my mind this would be better than the Jats.
Wrong. Anyway, we should bail and go and interview this other person.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much for joining us this week, folks. It's lovely to see you every week. The footy's a bit flat at the moment. There's no big stories. It's been going, it's just cold and it's just downing the energy and I'm on steroids. But it's lovely to have you all here to warm up the week. There's no good movies out.
Go watch. Not enough people are going to see that film, the Australian one.
Yeah, Mad Max.
Yeah.
Go see. I haven't seen it though, so I can't attest to it. But watch the Nickelback documentary. It's good. It's about how they're hated.
Yeah, there you go.
But I think you would actually really like it.
Yeah, I know it's totally unfair. They've had big hits and it's good stuff.
Yeah, it's actually more just about. No, they do suck, don't they? That's actually the no. All right, we'll see you guys later. See you on the weekend. Bounce that pill.